football fans, you are back to Pay Dirt. I am your host, Brandon Herriott, a.k.a. B-Dirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. Pay, how's it going, my man?
Man, I'm loving it, man. Football, the best time of year. It's footballing, but I'm loving what's going on, man. It's keeping us warm right now.
Yeah, which we need all that we can get right now. It's abysmal across the nation. I saw Memphis at -10 wind chill factor today. They're not used to that. They're not built for that.
No. I woke up this morning. Alexa, is my alarm clock. She wakes me up, tells me what time it is, tells me the weather. The weather was 13 degrees in Atlanta. I said, whoa, I jumped out of bed like, are you serious? Yo. Let me start running the water in these faucets just in case.
You fell asleep in Atlanta, woke up in Chicago. I didn't ask for that. I want to know what the wind chill is in Chicago. Can't be good.
No, not at all. Dangerous.
Well, we had a good week last week, man. 6-3, back on the right side, back in black, as they say. 6-2, actually, if you don't count the fact that we both took the Cowboys, that you talked me into taking the Cowboys.
My bad.
I should have known better. But you made a compelling argument, so.
This was their year. This was their year to break the streak. Everything lined up for them, and they still, as Mark Schlereth said, took a helmet. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. In front of national television, just propped down and took a deuce right in the star.
I'll tell you what, if you look, I picked them on the homies and on running through the jungle to be a possible Super Bowl contender. When you look at the NFC this year, I thought this might be the year. There was an opening in there. I thought there was in the AFC, I think there's one team playing heads and above everybody else. The NFC, it's been back and forth. There's been ebbs and flows throughout the season, and haven't seen that, especially over the past 6-8 weeks. So I thought maybe this was the year. And I went out on a limb and said, Dak's going to finally do it. He's going to take them to the Super Bowl, win the NFC championship. I've never been happier about being wrong in my life. It was a joyous occasion. I don't know if you went through the picks from
I have not of yet. I'm pretty sure you're in the lead.
It's the only game I missed.
Wow.
Never been happy.
The rest of us I think the rest of us went like maybe 4-3 over the weekend. But hey, man, happy for you.
Yeah, like I said, okay with being wrong on that one. On that one. If it was going to be one, let it be that one. So, a good start to the playoffs. Only 4 games this week, but don't worry, people. After going 3-0 in prop bets last week, which included Pacheco over rushing yards, which he had in the third quarter, Njoku over receiving yards, which he had in the first half, and Reynolds from the Detroit Lions over 30 yards. I think it went up to 34. and he had that in the first drive. So we hit 3 prop bets last week, and I've got more this week. So don't worry, it won't just be 4 games. And maybe an over-under. It's gonna be some action this week. I like some things. But we started off on Saturday. The new doll of the dance, the Houston Texans, go into Baltimore against the vaunted Ravens. And the Ravens are favored by 9.5. How you see this one going, okay?
Oh, I'm not going to be gun shy after last week's debacle between Cleveland. I picked Cleveland on the homies, but on this show where it all counts, I had Houston, and I also picked Dallas. So I'm not going to be gun shy over that. I'm going to stick to my guns. I fully believe in this Baltimore Ravens team. I feel like they are, I don't want to use the word destined. I feel like they are a team that doesn't have a discernible weakness. Their only weakness is, can they play 60 minutes? And they haven't let that weakness show in the last month and a half, maybe 2 months. I will say it again. I will keep saying it. They are undefeated if they don't beat themselves. That includes Week 18 when they didn't play anybody and lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. With that said, this weekend they have a formidable, very young team. A team so young they don't know they're not supposed to be here doing this stuff. CJ Stroud is probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. DeMeco Ryans is probably going to win Coach of the Year, and Lamar Jackson is probably going to win MVP. And these guys are beating in M&T Stadium. I think the weather is showing that it's going to be in the low 20s.
It's going to be
snow.
27. No snow on Saturday night.
Okay.
Could be a little bit overnight, early morning, but not at game time later in the afternoon.
That's important. That's important. Because I believe they have a heated field situation there. I'm not sure, but if there's no icy conditions, that will make the game all the more easier for the skill position players. Now, I don't believe this game has those type of lightning strike players other than Zay Flowers. I
don't know. Nico Collins has kind of been that guy for this Texas team.
Yeah, Nico was pretty good, but I kind of see Nico as like a big gamer, big play guy, not so as like a quick strike guy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
So the biggest question I have with this game, Baltimore, again, their only weakness, playing 60 minutes. Houston's defense doesn't get talked about the same much as Houston's offense with CJ Stroud and the rest of them.
So I look up matchups. That's how I look offensive and defensive matchups kind of as a starting point. 6th least amount of rushing yards given up in the NFL this year. Houston Texans.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was leading this to.
I'd have lost that bet.
I can see this game being very close. And you know what happens when Baltimore lets teams hang around. They don't have their offense is good, but they don't have a quick strike offense. They don't have that. They haven't shown to be an offense that is just, bludgeon you to death, over the top, run through you. They're methodical with how they score their points. A lot of running the ball. Houston, they don't play that. They can stop the run, as you already said. They got Darryl Stingley out, not Darryl Stingley, but Stingley's out there. Stingley's out there picking off everything. Will Anderson is causing issues. Again, these young boys are coming to play. Baltimore better be ready. 9.5 point favorites, and they haven't played ball in 2 weeks. I think this is leaning more towards the Russ situation. Even though I think they are completely focused, Houston, they don't know that they're not supposed to be here. 9.5 points is a bit much. I'm not giving that much disrespect to Houston. What about you?
So I look at what the Ravens want to do and what their identity is. Run the ball first, pass the ball second. Run the ball with running backs, quarterbacks, sweeps, whoever. Everybody gets a run in this, a rushing attempt in this game. And then you got the sixth best rushing defense, so it's strength against strength. Then you look at the over-under, 43.5. So not a huge over-under. And the point spread inside of that 43.5 is going to be 9.5 points. So you think this is going to be, 30 to 14, basically, or 30 to 17, or 28-17? That's the area you think you got in there. 28-17 doesn't cover. You know what I mean? I think the Texans keep it within 9.5 points.
We both see it the same way.
It could be a little rust for having a week off, getting started. It could be, sometimes the Ravens like to play with the food and let people hang around longer than they should. There could be a little bit of any of that. And at some point in time, I think CJ Stroud's going to torch you at some point in time. He's just that good. He's going to get one that he shouldn't get regardless. So I think it stays closer than that. I still have the Ravens winning this one by a touchdown, but I can't see them winning by, I can't see them covering at 9.5. I think it's a 6-7 point game, 4 to 7 point game.
I fully agree.
I do, however, like a prop bet in here.
Let's hear it.
So the Texans, I think, were the one thing I have seen people pass against them with some, especially going into that second or third option. I've seen teams have success. They might, double that first option. It's that old adage where you take you take your second best corner and put them on the best wide receiver with safety help over the top. Well, their first best corner going against somebody one-on-one, not elite. I got OBJ over 31.5 receiving yards in this.
Over 31.5.
Over 31.5.
I like that one.
I think he can get, I think he's going to probably have 4 or 5 catches in this game.
Now, I fully agree with this. I like this prop bet. 31, it seems like easy money. But that wasn't the one that piqued my curiosity first. It was Dalton Schultz anytime score, anytime TD.
I like that too.
Dalton Schultz is I don't want to say he's the number one guy that CJ's looking for, but he's definitely not ignored.
He's a security blanket for sure.
Yeah, even more so. They are going for DJ. I mean, they're going for Schultz a lot. And if they get into the red zone, I expect Schultz to get basketball movement, post somebody up, and go and make a big play. I could see that happening.
Yep, I don't disagree with that at all. I'm gonna have to take a little closer look, as a matter of fact. Over under 43.5. You see anything there that intrigues you or no?
No, I agree with that. 43 over. I'm going with the under, actually, just because I'm gonna play the weather with this one.
I think it's a pretty solid mark.
Yeah, 43.5 is fair, but if I'm gonna play with this one, I would lean towards the under just because the rust factor, and B, both two defenses that are going to be pretty stingy. Now, that was supposed to be the case last week between Houston and Cleveland, but it just so happens Cleveland got their bell rung. I think Baltimore took notice, and they're very much prepared for this. Baltimore's not going to do the Joe Flacco. They're not going to go out there and turn the ball over. But 2 pick sixes? No, that's not going to happen. And I've been saying Baltimore's the best defense all year. So I kind of want to lean towards the defense, the rust, and the weather. I'm going to put those 3 together. Give me the under 43.5.
I'm going to stay away from it, but I get it. So that 57% of the money right now is on the Ravens. It's not enough to move this line. So if you do like the Texans with us, doubt it's going to 10. If you're holding out for that, it may slide the other way, depending on how that moves at all. But I don't see them going up to 10. I just go ahead and jump on this 9.5.
Yeah.
Now, the other Saturday game, also a 9.5 point spread. We got the Packers at the 49ers. 49ers favored by 9.5. Over under 50.5. Going to be a little cool and scattered showers throughout the day here and there. Doesn't seem like anything severe. I don't think it's going to be enough to slop up the game by any means. 54% of the money right now is bet on the 49ers. Packers, I thought, were another one of the darlings of the NFC, where you got the Texans on one side, you got Packers on the other. Young quarterbacks, ahead of schedule, played really well against the Cowboys. I can't sit here and trash them, even though it might hurt your Bears' heart. They played well. So, what's your outlook on this game? Okay?
So, we just talked about this on the NFC North show, Who Will Be King. The Packers, I can't disrespect them. I want to so bad. I wake up in the morning and two things. The first thing, two things I do is I piss excellence and piss over the Packers. But as far as how their season's ending right now, they're 7-2 since Thanksgiving. They've looked good. They've beaten some teams. I mean, the teams they've beaten aren't exactly world beaters, but Dallas was not supposed to get destroyed like that. And the Packers didn't break a sweat. Not at all. Jordan Love looked every bit like a Green Bay Packer quarterback that we've seen the last 30 years. It was a tour de force type performance. Now, does the carriage turn back to a pumpkin this week when they go to San Francisco? A house of horrors for the Packers the last 10 years. I haven't seen them in Green Bay going into that city and win a postseason game since Terrell Owens made one of the best catches of his career. I kind of stand. I think I'm going to keep the history going with this one. I don't see the Packers winning. 9.5. I'm not going to play Jordan Love and this young Packer team the same way I would play Aaron Rodgers and his Packers teams. I'm not going to disrespect the 9.5 and take that. I would take the Niners. And now I know what I'm doing right here, B. I know what I'm doing. I just said there was going to be rust for Baltimore. San Francisco, they played their guys for the most part in Week 18. San Francisco is a experienced playoff squad. San Francisco, I don't expect San Francisco to be rusty. They're veterans. They understand what's at stake here. I fully expect them to cover their 9.5, whereas I don't expect the same for Baltimore. 9.5 for San Francisco. I'm with that one.
So we both on the Packers last week to beat the Cowboys.
Yep.
Wrong week, wrong reason, but we did get it right eventually. The Packers are 28th against the rush this season. Christian McCaffrey got something for you.
Yes.
Deebo Samuel on some end around got something for you.
Yes.
I think they're going to be a handful. I think they're going to use that running ability to set up the pass very well. They needed this bye week probably as much or more than anybody. They were pretty banged up in some key positions, offensive line specifically. Get a little bit healthier. I see the 49ers covering this. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And I also have McCaffrey over 92.5 yards.
Ooh, you took that one? Ooh, that one scared me off.
I took that one. I think he hangs a bill and no problem. I got him getting a bill and 2 tutties.
Okay. 2. Wow.
2.
Ugh. Hey, you know what? He do it. I'm not mad at him. You know, it's F Packers all day. But yikes! I'm sorry, B. This is where we split. I saw that prop and I was like, you know what? 92.5. It's scaring me off. And you're saying I got him for the anytime touchdown. I got that. Yeah. Okay. Let's get it. Let's get it.
My soul needs that over. Over under 50.5. Ooh. Let me see how the rain looks. You know what I mean? On Saturday. At about 4 o'clock. At about 4 o'clock on Saturday. Let me see what that rain looks like. If that rain
this
gets
one.
bad.
This one I was not too sure about this one, but for the total 50.5. Now I want to believe that they can do the exact same thing that I thought the Dallas Cowboys was going to do to the Packers last week, hang a 38-10 type score on them, 38-13. But now given all the information that I have, I'm not sure. I don't know. I know I can depend on the Packers to give me 24. I can depend on that at least. But what else I get? I don't know. I'm gonna stay away from the total.
I'm off the total too, unless I look and see at 4:30 there's a monsoon in San Francisco and they don't move that line fast enough. Then I might toy with it. Because I think the Packers, with Aaron Jones or not, I think they're going to have to pass the ball to have success.
Agreed.
Could be interesting. I think 49ers have a bounce back, but I'm going to stay away from that over.
All
right, so we're at the halfway point of this weekend schedule already. Diving in a little bit deeper, and we've got a couple of big games coming up right after this. We're going to take a quick second, pay some bills. If you are on Stitcher still thing, Apple Pod, Google Pod, Spotify, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, get the first notification. Give us those 5-star reviews. We appreciate those very much. Very necessary. Help get those out there. And if you're on YouTube, watch this right now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And all of you, tell a friend about us. Come over here and get this money. We'll be right back in 1 second. Welcome back, football fans. You are here at Pay Dirt. We've got Pay Saunders in the house. And I'm your host, B Dirt. Sunday, this first game, the Buccaneers go into Detroit. Two home games in a row in the playoffs.
I hope that economy is loving that. Oof, been a while.
Greektown Casino. Gotta be off the chain.
Yes, sir.
So the
right,
Lions
man.
are favored by 6 in this game. Lions are
It
favored
went
by
up to 6.5.
Just now?
Yeah, 6.5 now.
See, that's how accurate you get. I was at 6 an hour ago when I wrote it down. And we've already updated. 6.5. Over under 48.5. I'm going to let you start with this one.
So, first and foremost, Baker, the comeback story, love it. Love it. I loved every minute of him thrashing those Eagles, beat every feather off their carcass, sent them right to Cancun. And that defense, they've still got some of the bones of a Super Bowl winning defense over there. It's always been difficult to run against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's been that way for about 10 years. So
5th in rushing.
Yeah. The numbers bear it out. Now, will they go on the road and bring that same energy, that same show to Detroit? I don't think so. They played earlier this season. Detroit beat them 20-6, I believe. And Detroit was not even full strength. They were missing Jahmyr Gibbs, who is electric. Sam Laporta was a little gimpy. He is dynamite. Now, playoffs, all that energy, you saw how revved up that locker room was after that win. They're not going to stop. They're putting pedal to the metal, throttle down, and they are going to run right through Tampa Bay. I love it for Detroit. If no other sports city in America deserves it more than them, well, other than Chicago. But story for another day. 6.5. I think that's free money.
I like 6.5. I'm taking the Lions in this game.
Yeah.
I think they win. I think they cover. But here's what I really like. You touched on the Bucs have the 5th rushing defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have the 2nd rushing defense.
Mm-hmm.
When now we look at pass defense, the Lions have the 29th ranked pass defense.
Mm-hmm.
Just in front of who? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Lions. I'm taking over. I'm taking Mike Williams over 68.5 yards. He's not going to drop that big pass this time. And I'm taking Jameson Williams over 34.5.
Nice. The numbers, you need to tell me the numbers. I've watched these teams pretty closely this season. Those corners can be had for both teams. I think this is going to be a scoring bonanza. And yes, we want to start our Sunday with some points. I love it. I agree with you. I'm going over 48.5. I've already said I love that 6.5 for Detroit. I think I think that is perfect. Hammer that now before that line goes up. Someone's going to figure it out. They need to be at least a 9-point favorite. Yeah, I love it. Now, as far as props, let's talk about those a little bit. So you like Jameson Williams for 30 over 31.5. I can see that one. 34.5.
I also like, so with Laporta, he's playing, but he's a shell of himself, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't look the same.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's got to get those yards, right? That's the way I look at it. Jameson Williams showed some strength and showed some moxie last week. I had Reynolds last week because he had a bigger game. His numbers went up into the 40s this week. So I'm going to go with the guy in the 30s.
How do you feel about St. Brown? They got him at 89.5.
89.5. I lean over on that. I think he'll get 100. I think he's going to have 8 or 9 catches.
Yeah. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to announce himself to the league in a big way. Come Sunday,
and he runs hard.
Now, here's one that I found that was kind of interesting. Cade Otton, not talked about a lot in the resurgence of tight ends that happened this year, but they've got him at 30.5. I really do kind of like that one. I think that's the secret sauce in this game.
I mean, he had a pretty good game last week and had a couple of drops.
Yeah.
He could have had a much bigger game.
I think he bounces back, man. I've been paying attention to him. Like, you know what? He's just under the radar. K-Dot, and you see that 30.5 is under the radar type numbers. I think he can get that in 2 catches. You know, open up the middle of the field, get right behind the linebacker, drop it right in there. Baker doesn't do anything ridiculous. I can see that. I can see that
And
happening.
Baker loves throwing seam passes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a good one. For the last touchdown this past week. Real nice one.
No one's ever questioned his arm strength.
Mm-mm.
A lot of other things have been questioned.
Majority.
Never arm strength.
True indeed.
All right, so that brings us to the last game of the weekend. I mean, probably going into the season would have been the most looked forward to. I think the Bills underperformed early in the season. The Chiefs have underperformed later in the season, although they looked halfway decent last week. But we got the Chiefs going into Buffalo. The Bills are minus 2.5, over under 45. We've got a situation where weather's going to be on Sunday there around 30s, cold, but not. I mean, these are both cold weather teams. I don't think the weather should not play a factor in this game. Right now, it's a 51-49 split on betting Kansas City. The only thing that scares me, by the way, on that Bucs Lions game is 67% of the money's on Detroit. So 6.5 could easily be 7. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in now.
Yes. I saw that same thing.
But so this is a pretty even bet game, pretty even match teams. Bills are favored by 2.5, over under 45.5. How you see this one playing out, Bay?
These two teams lock horns again, man. I'm sick of it. Can they just go ahead and finish this off? Now, the pragmatist in me is telling me Buffalo, eventually they do put Kansas City out of their misery, right? Eventually something happens. Wrong. Kansas City, what did they do last week against Miami? Nothing spectacular. They just showed you that they are Super Bowl winning a team. They made plays when they needed to make them, and they made big conversions when they needed to happen against all odds, in the weather. They showed you the type of heart that they have. Buffalo don't have that. Buffalo don't have that in their backbone. Buffalo, their two prominent players on offense, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and now James Cook. They're up in the air. Stephon Diggs has not had the season that you expect from him. You think there's a little bit something going on off field. Josh Allen, he is known for playoff WTFs. He just throws it up there. James Cook, he's been fumbling the ball all season. Cost him a couple of games. Now, the likelihood of that happening in this game, in a big game, prime time, it is enormous. I expect it. And now, you know what? They did that to Miami, and they were still able to win. Talking about the Buffalo Bills in Week 18, they turned the ball over a couple of times, and they were still able to win. Kansas City's not going to let you do that. Kansas City has that Super Bowl winning backbone. They're going to take those turnovers, those mistakes, and convert them. They're going to hold the ball, and that's how they're going to win this game.
So going into this season, right, everybody would look forward to this matchup and talk about what? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, these offenses, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Checo, Cook. We're talking about the number 2 overall defense playing the number 9 overall defense. Chiefs got 2, Bills got 9. Bills have been really stout of late too. Even though they've shuffled in some fill-ins, they've still been playing well. I don't like this game. I don't like picking it. I don't like betting it.
You need it.
But we told everybody we were going to pick every game. So I'm going to say this right now. My money's not going to be on this pick. But I told you I'd pick every game for you. I'm going to pick the Bills. just because of it seems more of a team of destiny right now than the Chiefs do. I'm going to take the Bills reluctantly. And the over under 45, I think a lot of people are going to want to bet that over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being a 21-17 game. I'm going to leave that alone. I didn't like prop bets I saw in this game. I didn't like anything. So Sunday night, your boy B Dirt gonna get some early rest. Gonna fall asleep at halftime. Guaranteed. Don't got no money on the games. Falling asleep at halftime. Can't do it.
I hear you.
That over under 45. And what are your thoughts on it?
Now, again, both of these teams are not the teams that we expected them to be, at least for the years past. Kansas City offenses look very bad, to be honest with you. Yes. The only thing that's been sparking, lighting fireworks coming out of Kansas City has been up in the press box. Other than that, it's not very cute. Nothing's exciting going on. Buffalo Bills, they had to fire their offensive coordinator midway through the season because of their stumbling around. They're running the ball a lot more now than they've ever in the Josh Allen era, in the Sean McDermott era.
Put a little asterisk there. Running it with a running back.
Exactly. So I do expect both defenses to show up. The one thing about Buffalo Bills defense, I don't think they're great at tackling. They may keep you off the scoreboard, but I don't think they're great at stopping you from converting.
That second level. The first level, I like Ed Oliver and the guys up. I like Ed Oliver and the guys up front. That's that second level. That's where they.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm with you. I really don't feel like I want to risk my parlay or risk any money on this game. If I had to, I do feel like I can get Kansas City to win this game. I'll throw something down on the money line on that. The total, I'm not too certain about. I do like Pacheco for a anytime score, but I'm not going to put any money on that one. I think that's a pretty good bet. I do like Pacheco over 61.5 yards. Now that one I will throw some money down on.
I just can't mess with this defensive line. He did me right last week, but I'm not messing with this D line. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
I respect that.
Listen, I'm saying all that right now. I don't chase losses, but if I'm up going into Sunday night, oh yeah, I'm gonna find something I like. It's like giving me a black card at a Rolex convention. I'm gonna find something I like.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll wrap this up a little bit here. I like the Texans, the 49ers, and the Lions, all as bets. I, unlike Pay, have faith in my boy McCaffrey, over 92.5. I got Evans, over 68.5. I got Jameson Williams, over 34.5. I got OBJ, over 31.5. There were a lot of weeks during the season I didn't have 7 bets, and here we are. I got 7 with 4 games.
Your slip is a lot smaller than mine. I got 14. I'm doing 14. The best slip. I'm doing the best slip as we're talking right now, and it's asking me, "Hey, you want to put this 14 pick parlay in?" I'm like, okay.
14. You're gonna have to screenshot that. You gotta keep track of your own stuff.
Yeah. So I got the Chiefs on the money line. I got Detroit 6.5. I got the over 48.5 in that same game. I got Frisco 9.5 on the money. Well, not 9.5 spread.
I have the over in the Lions game too. Make it 8.
Yeah. Baltimore went outright under 43.5 in that same game. I got the Texans, the cover. And then, the same game parlays just bolster it up to 14. But it is an 8er. It is an 8er. I kind of, yeah, man. I'm there. Oh, I'm sorry. And the last one, Christian McCaffrey, anytime score.
All right. Well, hey, hopefully you folks out there can find enough of those things you like.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I'm going to do.
Get a little juice.
I'm going to put a half a unit on this 14 pick parlay. I'm going to put a full unit on the 3 same game parlays. And I'm going to put a half a unit on all the singles. I'm going to get my money. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find my way into black somehow.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm probably a unit on everything, except 2 units on that Lions Bucs over, and probably 2 units on Evans, Williams, and OBJ prop bets.
Nice.
I like those.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. It's plus 9,000 on the 14 picker. I can't turn that down. I got to roll the dice. I got to roll the dice. Plus 415 for 3 picks I have for the first game of the weekend. Baltimore, Houston. So if I just hit that, I'm
off to the
swimming.
races. Yeah, off to the races.
Let's go.
All right. Well, hey, we're not going to get into who we think is going to get in this championship games or who's going to get into the NFL championship. You want to hear those kind of, the Super Bowl, the big game, whatever. I don't think that we're going to get sued by the NFL for saying that. But if you want to see those things, you're going to have to check us out, Running Through the Jungle. You're going to have to check us out on the Homies Podcast, Steel Curtain Network, Fans First Sports Network on Friday nights. You're going to have to go to the Bear Claw. I saw you and did you do something with the Cleveland Cavs guys with the Chi-Town Bulletin?
Yes, we did. We had a cross show to review the Cavaliers and Bulls game. Cavaliers, they won pretty handily. Donovan Mitch, Spider. He gave the Bulls a thorough workout. So we got together and we talked about it for a little bit. And you already know how your boy Big G does. He saw it there. He saw the lane, and he had to ask, "Hey, who's the GOAT?" And we had to have a spirited conversation about that, of course. And the cameras turned off before it eventually went to Justin Fields. But topic for another day. Check out that episode everywhere you get your podcast. You can find that on the Chi City Bulletin Board on Apple and Pandora, Amazon Music, places like that. Or you can catch it on the That's So Cavalier, everywhere you get your audio fix from.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna give you an outside the box on the way out. UFC 297 this Saturday. Sean Strickland versus DDP. Sean Strickland been out there doing way too many podcasts, interviews, acting a fool. Got in a fight the last UFC event. I'm over the show. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think he's a great fighter. I'm taking DDP in this one. And a little bit because I think he's going to beat him, and a lot of it because I'm tired of his act.
Okay. We're not talking about Dallas Page, right?
No, Dricus Duplessis.
Oh, okay.
Duplessis. I can't say his name. That's the reason why
I hear
DDP. That's the reason why everybody says DDP.
I hear DDP. I get to thinking, hey, he's still out there,
Cutter.
Huh? Yeah.
Diamond Cutter. He's doing yoga now, right?
That's good.
No, thank you on that one.
No,
thank you on that one. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Put a bow on it. Just want to thank my boys. There goes my mic game. Been acting a fool this show. I apologize. technical difficulties. That's fine. But I want to thank my boys in blue taking care of those Ohio State Buckeyes this past weekend. It's always appreciated.
Buckeyes can't beat them anymore. It can't beat them in anything now, huh?
It's been a lot of fun to watch. And don't talk about women's gymnastics. We're out there mopping the floor.
Woo. You love to see it.
I do. So we're going to put a bow on this episode, though. We appreciate you rocking with us. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't keep all this money to yourself. And get your bets in. Catch us next week when we hit pay dirt.